Welcome back to the Interlake Sports Now. I'm Josh Dugan, and to cap off 2023, we'll take a look back at my top 10 sports moments from 2023 that we covered here on the Interlake Sports Now in Northwest Montana. From Grizz football to prep sports to Montana State's basketball March Madness trip. We'll get to it all this episode. So let's dive into all that. Quick reminder, today's episode is brought to you by Nomad, voted the Flathead's best manufacturer. Nomad is a longtime supporter of our local community and sports scene, celebrating 20 years of building great careers and mission-focused custom vehicles. Nomad, a Montana-based company making a global impact. Visit nomadgcs.com for more info. That's nomadgcs.com. All right, let's dive into the top 10 most memorable moments we covered on the Interlake Sports Now. 2023, there was a lot of great moments that did not make the list. As far as the prep sports goes, it has kind of a Kalispell theme to it. There was a lot of great prep sports in the Valley, but, a lot of what we were covering was right around here. But either way, what a special year for sports in Northwest Montana. First up, number 10 on the list is Glacier Football's 35-14 Class AA semifinal win this November to punch the Wolfpack's ticket to the state title game for the first time since 2016. The Wolfpack sealed the win with a Cole Johnson interception in the end zone with time ticking down in the fourth quarter to send the Wolfpack to Bozeman for the state title game, where they ultimately did fall to Bozeman, but nonetheless, a major accomplishment for the Pack and one of the most memorable moments. I was at that game. Just a fun environment. The crowd was into it. The kids were going wild, celebrating afterwards, and just an awesome moment on the Interlake Sports Now. Coming in at number 9 is the Grizz playoff win over Furman in the FCS quarterfinals. Overtime thriller. The Grizzlies won that one 35-28. Like I said, it was an overtime. Furman was a hard-nosed team. It was the FCS quarterfinals. Big-time game, and Junior Bergen took a punt return back and a kick return back to the house to propel the Grizzlies to the win, to keep the Grizzlies season alive on that march to the FCS title game. It was an absolute slugfest. Both teams played their hearts out on defense, traded punches all the way to the final whistle. Overall, those Bergen punt returns and the Grizzlies' defense standing strong in overtime landed this game in my top 10 moments because it was a heck of a college football game this year, one of the most fun games I watched all season long. At number 8 is Montana State winning the Big Sky Tournament to make March Madness for the second straight year. And that was the first time they made it 2 years in a row in school history. They had an 85-78 win over NAU in the Big Sky Tournament. Raekwon Battle, who did transfer to West Virginia, but a heck of a player. Battle led the Bobcats with 25 points as the Bobcats marched back to the NCAA tournament for the second straight year. And that was after not making the tournament since 1996, so quite a special couple years under former head coach Danny Sprinkle, who is now at Utah State. I'm a big March Madness fanatic. It's one of my favorite things in sports. That time of year, all the play-in tournaments, all the actual action when the bracket starts, it never gets old. So to cover that on the Interlake Sports Now was a lot of fun. Definitely was great covering that Bobcats team. They did lose to Kansas State in the tournament, but it was a heck of a Kansas State squad who made a deep run themselves. So it was a good foe if you're going to fall. So at number 7 on our top 10 moments of 2023 is this year's Brawl of the Wild in Missoula. Every year on the list, the Brawl of the Wild is going to find its way on there. That being said, the Cats and Grizz were both ranked in the top 5 leading into this matchup, and the winner of this game was going to get sole possession of the Big Sky Championship, setting this up to be one of the most hyped Cat Grizz games in a long time. And for the 4th straight season, the home team won, with the Grizzlies winning 37-7 to clinch the Big Sky title. The game itself might not have been the most memorable because the Grizz did run away with it, but still one of those big moments that we all live for as Montana sports fans. And it was a lot of fun covering it on the Interlake Sports Now here in 2023, no doubt about it. So much hype going into that game, and it set the tone for the playoffs. FCS playoffs have been awesome as well. The number 6 moment on the list was the debut of high school baseball in the Treasure State. I had the opportunity to attend the first ever home game for the Whitefish Bulldogs, and although they fell to Butte 10-2 in the game, it just had a special feel at Memorial Field in Whitefish. Whitefish and Butte, the Battle of the Bulldogs went at it, will go down as the first high school baseball game played here in the Valley. Just an epic game, great environment, and ultimately as somebody who loves the sport of baseball, it's just great to see the sport here in the Treasure State and have the opportunity to grow and more kids playing baseball. You can't ever complain about that. So it definitely had to make the list, and a little bit of a historic moment for sure. I'm a history nerd, had to throw that one in there. All right, let's keep the focus on the diamond where a little more history was made as the Glacier Wolfpack softball team won their second state championship in school history when Glacier beat Helena 19-7 back in May. The Wolfpack batters combined for 5 home runs in the win, and the 2023 Montana Gatorade Player of the Year, Ella Farrell, tossed 6 innings of scoreless relief in the championship win. Always great to see our local programs taking home the state title, so you know that had to make its way into the top 5. Next up, at number 4 was the Brock Osweiler football camp put on by the Flathead Braves football program over the summer. I was there covering the camp, and it was just such a cool moment to see former Flathead Brave legend Brock Osweiler paying it forward to the next generation of youth and high school football players. A lot of kids out there having fun, learning the game from someone who played at the highest level. That's such a unique opportunity. Nothing but respect for Osweiler for taking the time to do that, for all the kids in the Valley and these Flathead Braves football athletes who had the chance to learn from someone with NFL and Super Bowl winning pedigree that Brock Osweiler brings. Overall, major shout out to Flathead Braves head coach as well, Caleb Allen, for putting on the camp. They both took the time to do some interviews. So just one of those moments you look back on the year and you go, that was a really special experience for these kids, and it was a lot of fun to cover, no doubt about it. All right, we're into the top 3 now, and number 3 is a game that maybe in the grand scheme of things might have flown under the radar on some people's top 10 lists here in the Valley. But I was at the Glacier Range Riders home opener on May 30th, 2023, and it was a special night for baseball in the Valley as our local pro baseball team, the Range Riders, had an epic walk-off comeback win versus the Billings Mustangs after falling behind 8-0 in the 3rd inning and trailing by as many as 9 runs with the score at 12-3. The Range Riders got hot at the right time and put up 9 runs in the final 4 innings in front of an electric, jam-packed home crowd who went absolutely bonkers when the Riders, Cruz Taylor, stepped to the plate with the bases loaded and 1 out in the bottom of the 9th inning. Taylor got the job done with a broken bat, knocked to walk it off and send the home crowd into a frenzy. One of those unforgettable moments sports fans and athletes alike live for. Just an awesome moment to kick off the season for the Range Riders. Just an unbelievable atmosphere and one of those games I will not forget for a long time, if ever. Just an awesome game. Coming in at number 2 on the list is a moment prep basketball fans in the Valley won't forget for a long time, and neither will I, when Flathead's Avery Schoenar drained a game-winning 3-pointer buzzer beater in front of the home crowd at Flathead High School to hand the Flathead Bravettes their first Western AA basketball title since 2001. The Bravettes were hosting, and the Braves were hosting the tournament, Western AA tourney, jam-packed with talent. I was in the gym for that one. It's similar to the Range Riders walk-off I mentioned before. It was just one of those moments that kind of reminds you why you fell in love with sports in the first place. You never know what's going to happen, and sometimes you get the perfect storybook finish that writes itself. That's exactly what happened when the Bravettes won at the buzzer while hosting the Western AA tournament in front of their home crowd here in Kalispell. What a moment. The place went absolutely nuts. I haven't been in too many environments like that in sports in a long time, just because it was such a special moment and the people's reactions. It was so fun. Just one of those moments you live for as a sports fan and somebody who covers sports or plays sports, whatever it may be. Last up on our list, at number 1 of my top 10 sports moments from the Interlake Sports Now in 2023, maybe there's a little recency bias here. I don't think so. This is one we'll be talking about for a long time. The Montana Grizzlies 31-29 double overtime win on December 16th in Missoula at Washington Grizzlies Stadium to send the Grizzlies to their first national championship appearance since 2009. One of those games Montana sports fans will be talking about for a long, long time. That game was filled with a number of memorable moments, but none greater than when Grizz wideout and Billings product Junior Bergen took it back to his high school QB days and completed the 2-point conversion pass to Keelan White in the back of the end zone in double overtime that ended up being the deciding 2 points in the Grizzlies' win. After that, the Grizzlies defense stopped the Bison's trick play, 2-point conversion, and the rest is history. Like I said, there could be a little recency bias involved, but I'd say that right now, this is one of my top 5 most memorable college football games of all time that I've watched, of all college football. I love college football, watched so much of it, and that was just a special game and a special atmosphere, and it was just unreal to be covering it. So maybe I'm a little recency biased, but you can go watch that one back over and over and over again, and it'll not get old. There were so many unbelievable plays, unforgettable moments, and of course, the Grizz punching their ticket to the FCS title game was just the icing on the cake. So overall, what a way to cap off the 2023 sports year in the Treasure State. That game was a great little way to send us off into 2024. Montana will be playing in the FCS championship game. There's a good chance that'll be on this list next year. But that'll do it for our list of top 10 sports moments from the Interlake Sports Now in 2023. Thank you again to my peers here on the sports team at the Daily Interlake for all their hard work covering the action, and the Daily Interlake staff as a whole. Takes, teamwork to make the dream work, the old cliche there, but you got to love that. Ain't that the truth? So shout out everyone for all the hard work. Of course, thank you again to Nomad GCS and Clark Auto Group for their support this year. And last but not least, thank you to everybody who takes the time to watch the show. I truly appreciate it. It means a lot, and we really appreciate it here at the Interlake. We appreciate the support, and it shows a lot to the local athletic community how much it means to these athletes and their families and everybody else. So it's a great opportunity to cover sports in Northwest Montana. So on that note, Happy New Year's, everyone. I'm Josh Dugan, and I'll see you back again in 2024.